Yo, what is up? Citrus Aviation here with another video, and today is Aviation News This Week, episode number 36. I hope y'all are having a great day, and if you're not, hopefully this video can lift your spirits, or at least make your day a little bit better. So today we are going to be doing Aviation News This Week, and I'm sorry if my voice is a little bit different, So yeah, I've been ill the last week or so, and it's still, one of those colds that just like lingers and doesn't go away. But anyway, it's been like that for last week. But anyway, we are back to videos, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Citrus Aviation in here to make a little self-promotion ad break. I hope you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that you can stay up to date with all the latest videos that are happening. And I post lots of videos, and some of them are even watchable. So this week's aviation news has a lot of great stuff happening, but first we do have to start with a sad little bit of news, and that is that Air Italy on the 5th of February 2020 announced that they will be going bankrupt. The announcement comes after the airline had failed to secure. The airline, initially founded back in 2018, was founded under the backing of Qatar Airways, so obviously that's a big backer, which allows them to stay in business for a while, unlike some other airlines that you might have heard of. Anywho, Air Italy had the goal of basically taking over as the main carrier of Italy, as Alitalia's financial situation is shaky, to say the least. However, Air Italy also had a financial shakiness because they acquired quite a few aircraft very quickly, hired a lot of people, and started a business really quickly. They kind of just came out of nowhere. However, I do want to give the airline huge mad props for not just going under like some other airlines that I have covered on this show before. And those other airlines just instantly ceased operations, even though people knew that they were kind of shaky. At least people paying attention to the situation might have known they were kind of shaky situations. Air Italy, however, just announced on February 5th they will be going bankrupt, and that they will cease operations 20 days later on February the 25th. So that has not happened yet, but for those of you who have flights booked on Air Italy, you will have the opportunity to fly your flight if your flight is before February 25th, or you can get a full refund. For those who have flights after February 25th, they are offering options such as you can get your flight fully refunded, or you can schedule for different carrier. So that is really nice that Air Italy is offering to do that. Mad props to the airline for actually considering their customers when going bankrupt. That's something that I really appreciate. And as a token as well, I recommend flying Qatar Airways, because obviously they're the holding company that owns this airline. They actually technically own it and manage it. So I really am very thankful that the airline did that and that they actually considered their customers. So I really appreciate that. This picture here that you're seeing while I'm talking about this news is of one of Air Italy's storage 737 MAXs, as they are still an aircraft in storage. Seems that rumors point to the summer is when the aircraft will come back into service. This aircraft registered as Echo India Golf Kilo, taken on the 24th of November 2018. Now, I was actually going to cover Air Italy before the announcement came, but for a different reason, and that was that I was going to cover airlines that I think would go bankrupt next, and Air Italy was actually on that list, and well, obviously it happened. So maybe I can cover in this episode some other airlines that I think will go bankrupt, just here real quick. Some airlines have taken out of consideration currently are Etihad Airways and Norwegian Air Shuttle. I mentioned previously, which was I think back in July when I last did the discussion, that I thought that those two airlines would be very likely to go bankrupt very soon because of their shaky financial situation. However, those two airlines have both stabilized the situation. Qatar is obviously doing just fine, but Etihad, which is one of the main competitors, has been hemorrhaging money like crazy, as in the tune of around $2 billion a year, which is not a sustainable business model. However, they announced their recovery plan, I think it was in late 2018, and they put it into motion. They continue to lose a lot of money in the 2018 financial reports because they still have payouts to do for the bankruptcy of some airlines that they were financially tied to, such as Air Berlin, and Alitalia, and a couple others. But Etihad 2019 report was still a pretty big loss. I believe it was about $1.3 billion loss. However, it is an improvement, and the airline plans to be able to be financially profitable within a couple years. They've made a lot of changes, and they have dropped a lot of aircraft orders. They've made it a more realistic number, and they've dropped a lot of routes that weren't the most profitable, and they've shifted some things around. They also don't offer quite as much service as they used to, so no, not really quite the top tier quality airline anymore, but they still do offer a lot of nice things if you want to fly them. So they are definitely on their way to financial recovery. And then the other one is Norwegian Air Shuttle. They actually reported a net profit in the final quarter of 2019. Now they'll probably lose money again for the first and maybe second quarter of 2020. That's just simply because it's not usually the ideal time to fly on the northern hemisphere for summer travelers. So they might lose money again, but it does seem as if their situation is getting more financially stabilized as they have finally been able to deal with the 737 MAX crisis and the 787 trend package B and C engine issues. Anywho, those are those airlines. So what are airlines that I think might still go under? Well, first we're going to cover some government-funded airlines. There's 3 of them. And the only reason these airlines continue to exist is because they're government-funded, because governments have endless monies. So the first one is Alitalia. The second one is South African. And the third one is Air India. Now, all 3 of these airlines are still kind of a little shaky. Apparently, South African, they have hired someone to help turn them to being profitable again. But even that is, kind of shaky because, it's the government. They could probably just keep the airline running no matter how much money it loses. Alitalia still exists for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but they still exist. I could see them going out at any moment. And same thing for Air India. Air India just also continues to lose money at a consistent rate, so I could see them going out fairly soon as well. I don't know when they will go out. It might be fairly sudden, but I could see the government decide to no longer maintain Air India. Probably the only reason they do maintain it for now is because that big airline, Jet Airways, the private airline, finally went bankrupt as well. And so they might be just keeping the airline around until the market can stabilize and some of the other airlines like Indigo, SpiceJet, and the others can become a larger market share, so that when Air India does liquidize, they can manage to succeed in filling the market for it. Anywho, that's those airlines. Those airlines are big contenders. There are some others. Asiana was a contender for bankruptcy, but they got a huge package deal help from the Koreans. They got some investors, including government money, which always helps because government money is essentially free money. And they also got some business firms in South Korea, to fund their business. North Korea doesn't have any money. They're essentially constantly on the verge of collapsing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little section there of airlines that I thought might go bankrupt. If you have any that you think I should cover, put it down in the comments below and I'll read them. And as always, I read the comments and respond to as many of them as I can. And then maybe I'll cover those airlines in the future. The second big aviation news item is that Alaska Airlines also announced that they will be co-sharing a major deal with American Airlines. So Alaska Airlines, in the last few years, they dropped their co-share agreement with Delta Airlines. I believe that was in 2015 or 16. And then at the same time, they came up with a new livery. However, the company has been looking for a new airline to co-share with, and they have kind of had a few little deals with American. Well, now they're going to go all in. Alaska Airlines will be joining the One World Alliance. So that's a big, big news item because the One World Alliance in North America, at least, isn't very strong. That's basically American. That's it. Just American in North America. For the alliances like SkyTeam, they have Air Mexico, Delta. Star Alliance has United and Air Canada. and basically everybody else is unaffiliated with they're doing their own thing. Particularly discount airlines like JetBlue, Southwest, WestJet, Frontier, Spirit Airlines, Volaris, Interjet. They're all off doing their own little thingies, whatever they do. So there's that. But Alaska will be joining the One World Alliance officially. This is now official. Pretty cool that Alaska will finally be in an alliance as they're becoming a big boy airline. Also, as part of this new COSAIR agreement, which will see Alaska enter the alliance, there's also apparently a deal on the side as well, where Alaska Airlines will be selling a large portion of their Airbus aircraft, and this will pretty much go all to American, as they are desperately in need of more aircraft, particularly with the MAX groundings. And so American will pick up these baby buses. As much as Alaska Airlines has done pretty good flying the A320s and other Airbus aircraft like that we see here, it's not really part of the model. For putting the lettering just under the cockpit says proudly all Boeing. Well, they're not all Boeing anymore because they have all the Airbus aircraft. I guess before you could have argued that they weren't all Boeing because they do have sub-operators of SkyWest and Horizon Air under them who operate regional jets, but as far as mainline Alaska goes, they were all Boeing until they merged with Virgin America. And so I do think they will go back into the all Boeing direction and get rid of their baby bus fleet. And selling it to American is a great idea. So this picture here that you see is of November 835 Victor Alpha. It's former Virgin America A320-214, taken at Everett, Washington on the 25th of October 2018. This is a really nice picture, and while I was looking for pictures for this episode, I found so many great regional jet pictures of the ERJs in particular. There are some really, really talented photographers out there on the West. So if you ever have a chance to meet one of them, thank them for the amazing pictures they post out there, because there's some really good ones. Alrighty, so now we are moving on to the pictures of the week. There are a bunch this week because I found a lot of really good ones. Usually, as you might know, I use Airlines.net and JetPhotos.net as my sources for my photos. Those are my two preferred websites for getting pictures for aviation news this week. There's a couple others. I do sometimes use FlightAware, but usually people don't upload pictures there as quickly as to these two main sites I use. So that's why they use those sites. And, of course, most of the really talented photographers post onto FlightAware and JetPhotos. It's basically the place to post if you're a good photographer. So that's why they're just two good sources to go to. Alright, so this picture here that is in front of you right now is this awesome reflection shot of the LR Retro 7879, which is stored as 4 X-Ray Echo Delta Foxtrot. This was taken at Tel Aviv Airport in March 2018. And it's a 787-9. Now, a lot of these pictures, as you might notice, they are often really, really late to getting to be posted to a website. I'm not exactly sure why that is, why some of the best pictures on the internet take a while to show up. There could be some reasons for that. Maybe the photographer was really, really fine-tuning the image and such, so it was ready. Maybe there's other reasons, but for whatever reason, these pictures often take a little bit to show up. Like this next one, which was taken in May of 2019. Really cool picture of a Russian Air Force Tupolev Tu-95MS, registered as Romeo Foxtrot-94187. This angle really shows some of the interesting characteristics of basically the C-130 copy for the Russian Air Force. It's got this kind of weird looking cheek thing below it. It really reminds me of Star Wars The Clone Wars. There was a Jedi turned rogue in some of the Clone Wars episodes. I'll probably have a picture of it up on the screen. Basically, the nose of this aircraft looks like him. Anywho, that was enough of a commentary on that. But this is a cool aircraft, and it's a really good picture. Next picture is taken on the 26th of September 2019. Really cool picture of a Russian helicopter. This is a Mi 35M Hind, registered as Romeo Foxtrot-13374. You can see this aircraft is performing demonstrations, probably some kind of military exercise, and you can see that they are launching a missile and some rockets in this picture. It's a pretty cool image right here. Next up, we have a really cool picture, wintry picture from January the 2nd, 2020, taken in Switzerland, of an Embraer Legacy 600 coming to land at a little airport. The aircraft registered as 9 Hotel-W Foxtrot Charlie. This is an outstanding image. As you can see here, the aircraft just coming in to land. You can just see the mountains around the scenic road. Some people walking around with the nice river there. It's a really good picture. I really like these scenic images because they're quite unique and rare. Next highlight image is just of an A330 parked at gate. It's kind of interesting lighting. That's what really drew me to this picture. I'm not exactly totally sure what drew me to this image. It's just kind of different, and I like that. The aircraft register is Papa Hotel, that's Alpha Oscar Mike. It is a KLM A330-203, taken on the 31st of January. Alright, the final featured image of the week shows these two Air Force, United States Air Force that is, aircraft. We have an F-16C Fighting Falcon in the front, registered 86-0251. And then in the background we have a what appears to be United States Navy FA-18F Super Hornet. And this is taken at Las Vegas in Nevada on February the 5th, 2020. It's the most recent of these pictures. I usually try to do this by chronological order. And what we appear to have is an aggressor F-16. So they're basically, there's the Nellis Air Force Base located right there, and they do these major exercises. It's some of the largest Air Force exercises in the world. There's even a movie made about it. It's a little IMAX movie that I've seen like 5 times called Fighter Pilot. I actually really enjoyed the movie. It's quite a fun film if you want to check it out. But the film kind of shows the operations that go on there. And basically they have the world's largest military exercises of where 16 countries from around the world will participate in it. And the U.S. Air Force has some of the best pilots basically act as aggressor pilots, and they have them painted in what might be Russian-style liveries. And they basically have the F-16 that the U.S. Air Force uses because that's the closest thing that we kind of have to a Russian-style aircraft. And so this appears to be one of those aggressor aircraft coming into land, and an F-18 Hornet making a bank. So this is a really cool image. I just wanted to share it because it's a really nice image, and it'll tell you a little bit about the Air Force. Alrighty, so now we are on to fleet news, and the very first item here, taken on February the 11th, is a brand new Junio. I can't pronunciate the name of the airline. I'm sorry. Junior Air. I don't know, something Airlines. The first 779 registered as Bravo-20 Echo Charlie. Very good looking aircraft. I actually do like this kind of deep maroon gold livery. Kind of nice. Alright, and then next up, Jet2 Holidays received the very first A321. This aircraft is registered as Golf Hotel Lima Yankee Foxtrot. This aircraft was spotted on February the 12th, 2020 in Manchester. It's an A321-211. And this one is with the Circlets. I do actually like this aircraft. I do like the A321s. And of course, Jet2 Holidays might or might not have copied Allegiant's homework when they made their current livery. Alright, next up we have the new special livery for the Republic of Iraq official government aircraft, registered as Yankee India Alpha Sierra Foxtrot. This is a 737-81 Zulu. So this livery, while it is a 737-800 livery, this is not the biggest aircraft they have in their Republic of Iraq government fleet. They also have a 777 as well. But it's cool to see the new livery. I think it looks fine. The country and the region in general is still tumultuous, and I would rather not comment on it because I don't want to get political in these videos. But it is still a tumultuous region, and it's interesting to see what's happening there. Next up, we appear to have the very first A320 for Himalayan Airlines. This aircraft is registered as 9 November Alpha Lima Mike. Either this is their first aircraft or it's like a new livery for them. And I do like the livery because at least it's not an entirely Boeing your white livery. So congratulations on not making a 100% Boeing livery. Congrats. The final news item we have for today today is Delta's brand new special livery. It is the thank you livery. And on the nose it says dedicated to the world's best employees and customers. Yes, Delta is the best airline on earth. Definitely proven just because I said so. No scientific research required. Anyway, they are a good airline either way. And the new thank you livery is really cool because Delta pretty much literally never does special liveries. They apparently have never heard of one. But they finally made one. And this one's really cool. This aircraft is November 391 Delta November. It's 821-211. It's the newest one in the fleet. Now you might say, well, they also have November 396. But keep in mind the aircraft are not always delivered in the order of their registrations. They kind of go back and forth a little bit. And so 391 is the newest aircraft in the fleet. It was just painted and it will enter service soon. So you can see this beautiful aircraft at your local airport in the United States probably soon. And I will definitely be trying to get it as soon as I can. It's a great looking aircraft. I'm very happy that Delta made it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this Aviation News This Week episode. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day and God bless you.